Remember dial-up? You know that sound of the internet, like struggling to connect?
Oh, I can still hear it.
Right. It's amazing how far we've come. And now everyone's talking about the metaverse.
It's the future of, well, everything, apparently.
That's what we're deep diving into today. We got a ton of your requests on this, by the way, so thank you.
Seems like everyone wants to know more.
Exactly. You guys sent over articles, research papers, even a few sci-fi novels, which I appreciate.
Sci-fi really does seem to be coming true these days.
It really does. But there's this one book that seems like the place to start, to really get beyond the hype. Matthew Ball's The Metaverse, and how it will revolutionize everything. Have you had a chance to look at that one?
Oh, absolutely. It's considered the defining work on the metaverse. Even tech giants like Zuckerberg are raving about it.
Yeah, and it's interesting because for a lot of us, metaverse still conjures images of like clunky VR headsets, right?
Yeah, you think Ready Player One? Kinda.
Exactly. But Ball says it's so much bigger than that.
He does. He defines it as this persistent and interconnected network of 3D virtual worlds. Basically saying that it's not going to be some separate digital playground.
Oh, interesting.
It's going to be how we access most online experiences.
Wow. Okay, so not just escaping into a video game, but like the metaverse is the internet, essentially.
Exactly. And he argues it'll have a huge impact on the physical world, too.
Okay, now that's where I get a little lost. What does that mean, impact the physical world? Like, will my dog need a digital avatar?
Maybe. No, but think of it this way. Imagine your work meetings, doctor's appointments, even concerts, all happening in immersive 3D spaces.
So I'm not just staring at a screen anymore, I'm actually present, like virtually.
Exactly. And because it's all interconnected, you can move seamlessly between these experiences. You could finish a meeting in a virtual office in New York, then instantly be transported to a museum in Rome for a virtual tour.
Okay, that part actually does sound pretty cool. But are we talking like years and years from now? Because I'm already seeing things like, concerts in Fortnite and kids hanging out in Roblox. Are those like the early version of this?
They're definitely early glimpses. But think about the first website you ever saw. It was probably just text and maybe a pixelated image or two.
Oh, totally.
The metaverse that Ball envisions is so much more complex. It requires massive leaps in areas like network infrastructure.
Right, because if everyone's doing this at the same time.
Exactly. It'll overload everything. And then there's AI to make these worlds feel truly alive and responsive. And then something called spatial computing.
Spatial computing. Okay, that one sounds a bit intimidating. What is that?
Basically, it's giving computers the ability to understand and interact with the physical world in real time. It's what would allow your virtual self to move through a 3D environment, interact with objects, all of that naturally.
So like no more avatars getting stuck in walls?
Ideally, no. But to get there, to render these realistic environments and avatars on a massive scale, Ball says we're talking processing power greater than what exists on Earth right now.
Seriously? See, now I'm picturing rows and rows of giant whirring computers, like in a movie.
It's almost like that, but it really highlights the scale of the challenge.
Okay, so huge potential, but also some hurdles to clear. But what does this mean for, the average person right now? Should I be like investing in a supercomputer?
Hold off on that for now. The takeaway here is that the metaverse has the potential to be as transformative as the internet itself. Ball argues it'll reshape pretty much every industry, from healthcare and education to entertainment and finance.
I mean, you said trillions earlier.
Trillions of dollars at stake.
Wow. Okay, so this isn't just about like virtual pizza parties then.
No, this has the potential to change how we live, work, learn, everything.
So when can I expect to be attending a virtual conference in the metaverse? Next week?
Not quite. It's not going to happen overnight. Ball stresses that this is a gradual evolution, not a sudden revolution.
But there are challenges. We kind of touched on that earlier.
Absolutely. One of the biggest things he highlights is digital equity. If the metaverse is this all-encompassing digital space, we have to make sure everyone has equal access, right? Regardless of where they live or their economic background.
Right. We don't want to create a bigger digital divide than we already have.
Exactly. And then there are huge questions about privacy and security. The metaverse is going to generate unimaginable amounts of data about our behaviors, our preferences, our very movements.
It's a little unnerving when you put it that way. Like, who has access to all of that information?
That's what Ball wants us to be thinking about. It's not just about the technology, it's about the choices we make as we build this thing.
So it's exciting, a little scary, and definitely something we need to be paying attention to.
Exactly.
Okay, so we've covered a lot of ground here. But if you had to leave our listeners with one final thought about the metaverse, what would it be?
Stay curious, stay informed, and don't be afraid to get involved in the conversation. The metaverse is being built right now, and we all have a role to play in shaping its future.
It's a future worth thinking about, that's for sure. Thanks for taking this deep dive with us today.
It's been a pleasure.
Always fascinating stuff.